It's International Women's Month, and welcome to Kaleidoscope, where we are positive, daring, different. We take a look today at Noche de Brujas, the Night of the Witches, a celebration going back centuries when, on the 4th of March, hundreds of shamans, witches, and healers from all over Mexico descend on the mystical town of Catemaco to perform a mass cleansing ceremony, basically, a witchcraft convention. To our fantastic partners on the show, Skills for Inclusive Growth and Australian Aid, Selinko Life, the morning newspaper CDB, made by her, thank you for being so awesome. If you like Kaleidoscope, subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Looking back at the week that was on CDB Snapshot, Sri Lanka's inflation decreases further in February to 50.6%. The Sri Lankan rupee reached a record high of 353 rupees against the US dollar. Earnings from merchandise exports declined by 11.3% in January 2023 to US dollars 978 million. The World Food Programme says food insecurity remains at concerning levels in Sri Lanka. Forbes magazine ranks Sri Lanka among the top wildlife safaris outside of Africa for 2023. A 2004-year-old flush toilet is discovered in China. Selena Gomez passes Kylie Jenner as the world's most followed person on Instagram with 389 million followers.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Silinko Life.
Welcome to Selinko Life News Capsule. While tariff hikes have cast some clouds over the rainbow, on the other side, Sri Lanka's inflation is reducing, the rupee is appreciating, foreign remittances are moving upwards, positive signs are coming from the IMF, and the harvest gods are being kind with a bumper harvest expected. I chatted with CEO and Director of Empower Capital to put a finger on the current pulse. Naveen, what is everything looking like right now for Sri Lanka?
Yes, inflation rate is coming down and will come down over the next couple of months, even to single digit levels towards the end of this year. That is good, but it does not mean that the prices of goods and services will be much less than this, because it's relative, it's measured year on year. We can still expect certain segments to be quite expensive, especially with the high energy cost going into cost of production. Certain segments might be slightly cheaper, like the agriculture sector, due to supply and demand. But overall, cost of living can be expected to be around these levels or even slightly higher.
And so, what are the cautions?
With the inflation coming down, the interest rates should also come down in line with that, which is good, which will make money cheaper for businesses to borrow and invest. If the money is borrowed and invested in revenue generating investments, that would be great. However, in countries like ours, we borrow and consume, and when our domestic consumption goes up, it adds pressure on our currency once again. Yeah, the exchange rate has been fairly stable in the recent past, and with tourism improving and foreign remittances also getting better, the inflows, I think that should also help the cause. So all in all, Sri Lanka will bounce back. It's just a matter of time, but we will have to work hard. We will have to increase our income levels and think out of the box and look for opportunities even outside the country.
And here's what our markets looked like this week. The all share price index dipped slightly this week but corrected itself at the end of the week and remained unchanged. The average daily turnover remained low. WTI oil prices moved up from $75 per barrel to close to $78 per barrel on expectations that Russian oil supplies would fall and Chinese demand for oil may increase. Gold prices continue to hover close to $1,800 per ounce as US dollar strengthened and the likelihood of global interest rates continuing being high.
This month it's all about women and we celebrate Made by Her, which supports women-owned, women-led entities in an exclusive marketplace and network that facilitates diversification of their markets and revives marketing and networking. Most of these women in these entities employ women. As a first step in empowering these women entrepreneurs, Made by Her launched its website recently to augment visibility. I chatted with business lead of Made by Her, Dasaman Vijayasinghe, on what and why this website was put into place and what it does for the Made by Her community.
Well, the idea behind Made by Her started, especially during the COVID pandemic and the economic crisis. I mean, marketing has always been a challenge that women in the SME sector have faced, but during this time, it was heightened, right, with the fuel crisis and all of that. So we wanted to give them a space where they could market their products, come out of their provinces, districts, and do everything. And so we have Made by Her, and one of the main features of the website is that it promotes the contribution that women in the SME sector give towards the economy of the entire country, right? And you will get to know your producers. It's not just the products that you're buying. We have the stories of the women all in there. You can see the challenges that they go through to get your products to you. And we do so much more. We just, we do a lot of coaching and mentoring. We give them feedback on product quality, maintaining branding, imaging, all of that. So it's a journey that we're going to take together, the partners of Made by Her and us.
Celebrating the courage of sexual assault survivors the world over, Amanda Nguyen, the founder of RISE, a non-profit that supports sexual assault survivors, created a runway show featuring actors, activists and survivors. The idea? Reclaim your power and refuse to be blamed for being sexually assaulted. Immerse yourself in gourmet luxury. Park Street Gourmet is your single stop for gastronomic indulgence. Visit us any day of the week for some decadent shopping. Up next is S4IG Let's Talk, and we have the Global Chairperson of Women in Logistics and Transport, Gayani Dialvis.
It is International Women's Month, and what better way to celebrate women than highlighting those who have, done great things, those who are in careers that are challenging, difficult, and sometimes not the norm, and also those who are, being superwomen. According to an ESCAP report, female representation in transport and logistics in Sri Lanka in 2019 was a paltry 3.4% to the 96.6% of males in the sector. On S4IG Let's Talk today is the award-winning Global Chairperson of Women in Logistics, Gayani Dialvis, a past president of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport and only the second woman in Sri Lanka to be conferred a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport after almost 30 years. Gayani, you're a woman of many achievements and lots of accolades, but you've been a woman in logistics. How difficult? What are the barriers that women face in this industry?
So in general, it's not only logistics, Savithri. In the workplace, in general, we have issues. There are lots of conscious and unconscious biases. And also, especially in our industry, logistics is seen as a female, unfriendly, male-dominant industry because that's how it had been. And also, the environment is so rugged. And so women don't feel like joining the industry. So that's the biggest issue that we have.
Gayani, on the other side, what is the industry missing out on by not having more women in logistics and transport?
So the workplace would be very diverse when you have another gender, right? But again, by leaving half the population behind, you are losing out a lot. So that's the biggest thing I would say. So you get diversity of thought, diversity of decision making. Women by nature bring a different skill set to the table. So it's good to have both genders. So you can have better outcomes in an organization.
What are the perceptions that women have of the industry?
I think women also feel they have inner inhibition. I always tell them, you need to, before pointing a finger at others, you need to overcome your inner inhibitions. I mean, if you think this industry is male driven, obviously you will feel it that way. So you need to be strong, you have to be confident. If you have the right skill set, you must first go there and deliver it.
So in your industry then, what are the cultural and social norms that hold women back?
Our work environment is rugged. And you have to almost it's a very changing environment, 24/7 working, field work involved. So some women, I love it because I like when there is action. Every day is a different day in supply chain. But many feel that, this is too harsh, long working hours, and females are not supposed to work after a particular time, and especially you have challenges at home to manage your home and personal life and the work as well. So these are preventing women, and industry also put these barriers and say, okay, women should not work after a particular time.
So globally, what are the statistics like, and also Sri Lanka?
From what I checked based on the industry information, it's less than around 3%. So it's a single digit number. But globally also the situation is the same. But what is important to understand is we need to really see why these women are not coming to the industry. So that's why I said we need to coach them, mentor them, career guidance, give the exposure, inspirational. I must also mention in certain industries, especially in the port sector, we have 12 female gantry crane operators, hardcore male area. And in the ride-hailing industry, in the gig workers, we have 300 ride-hailing women, right? So that shows in unconventional areas, women are joining the world of work.
So what are the job opportunities available for women in logistics and transport?
So if you look at supply chain, a supply chain starts with the supplier till the consumer receives it. So procurement, planning, you need to plan how much it is required. So demand planning, supply planning, how do you supply the demand? And then you have logistics. Within logistics, you have transport, warehousing, and customer service. The whole gamut of things. It's a huge, diverse industry. And you need different skill set, and it's all based on relationship. Women are very good in relationship building. Women are high in EQ, and also women are good in MQ, moral quotient as well. So when you have women in organization, the research have shown that ESG performance will improve, the ROI will improve. McKinsey recent study shows that you will add 20 billion to our economy if we actually have gender diversity. So, it will hugely impact our economy.
Lots of words of inspiration. Thank you very much, Gayani, for joining us today.
Thank you, Savithri.
It is about the sun, and it is about an island. This is about sola&Isle. It's about responsible clothing for the little people we love. Today I'm at the Design Collective, and I'm speaking with Charya Dharmadasa because she is the CEO of Broadway Kids, the brainchild behind this brand sola&Isle. Charya, this is absolutely lovely. What made you start off?
So our company, Broadway Kids, has been in the manufacturing industry for about 10 years. So we thought it was best that we introduce our own brand because we have the expertise in kind of working with large companies, international brands. So we thought this was the best time, and we wanted to introduce something to Sri Lanka.
And what's special about the brand?
So what's special is that we're using the end of road concept, and like nothing goes to waste actually. In fact, this bag that we have, none of it goes to waste, right? It's like the end pieces where we made a patchwork bag out of it so that it doesn't go into the environment and then create more carbon emission there. So things like this is also from the end of road. These are like cut pieces as well. So everything that that goes into waste, that is excess, has been used into all these products.
Future plans?
So definitely we want to move out of Sri Lanka, and we have been looking at Australia, and also we've had an inquiry for a pop-up in London, which is a great opportunity for us. So that's what we are looking at right now.
Next week, we celebrate more notable women and inspire many more. See you then.